We want to give a shout out to our CTR Media Network sponsor, Terry Coleman from GlobalKeyCapital.com. Global Key Capital is a lender specialized in customized financing solutions. They pride themselves in being one of the industry's most reliable and proven lending groups. At Global Key Capital, their customers are their number one priority, and they strive to provide all of their clients with competitive pricing, unbeatable customer service, and stress-free processing. If you are looking for your next dream home or investment property, give Terry Coleman a call at 866-325-6267. Again, that number is 866-325-6267. GlobalKeyCapital.com.
Sweet conversation, hey, outrageous, hey, you smile, yeah, smile, and I say, hey, come on, say, it's getting personal, personal, personal. We say what? It's still for a while, and babe, come on, such a beautiful woman. Oh, say, give you the best of me. Come on, hey, come on, amazing, hey, outrageous. What's up, y'all? Hey, come on, having you close to me, having you close to me, amazing, amazing, giving you the best of me. Say, good morning, here's breakfast, hey. Lost track of time, no, we can walk. Let's get moving. And we're not fair. Tonight, yo, we're gonna sing and pray. Let me all say, come on, say, it's the first one. All right now, come on. Let's keep it for a while and pray. Such a beautiful woman. Hey. Oh, say, give you the best of me. You're so amazing. Come on, what's up, brother? Hey, having you close to me, having you close to me. Amazing. Giving you the best of me. Come on, hey, giving you the best of me. Giving you the best of me. Amazing. Somebody help me. Oh, having you close to me. Having you close to me. Yeah. Amazing. Hey, giving you the best of me. Giving you somebody help me. Oh, come on, y'all. Oh, yeah. 6-star hits. 6-star set.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
day. Bye.
Bye.
You too.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's Thought for Thursday. I feel like I haven't been here in forever, probably because I have not. But I'm real happy to be here tonight. Are you guys as happy as I am to get to Thursday? All right. I know I'm happy, and I'm happy to be here with you guys. So I have quite a few things that I want to talk about tonight, and it all entails talking about journaling and the importance of journaling. You know, I've already said in a couple of my previous broadcasts that from here up until the beginning of 2023, I am going to give you as many tips and things that I can give you in order to help you to start 2023 with a bang, to be successful in 2023, and to reach those goals that you want to reach as my risers, as those folks who are going to be, many of you are going to be doing total reinventions come 2023. And I want to make sure you have the tools that you have to do that both personally and professionally. So tonight we're going to talk about journaling and the importance of it. Now, if you're anything like me, I am just not consistent at all with my journaling. I talk about it even in one of the books that I wrote, how, I have gaps as big as a year, as a few weeks. I can go really well for up to 2 or 3 months and then I just fall by the wayside. But there is some significance. There's some real significance in journaling. One, when you kind of get to the point where you're in the prime stages, if you know what I mean, journaling helps you to remember some things, all right? This time next year, what I love about my journal is this time next year, I can go and look at some of the things that I put in there as concerns, some of the things that I've wanted to do, some of the occurrences that occurred this year. I can go in there and take a look at it and come back and see just how far I've come in that year. I can be reminded and want to reinforce the thing that I put in that journal that I wanted to accomplish. It helps to create memories, memories that are not only good for you, but memories that you can even pass down in your generations, legacies, things that you want to pass down, things that you want to hold on to. Journaling helps you in many instances when you're dealing in a totally chaotic world and you have so many things on your plate and you're wondering where the world to go in the next direction. It helps you to clear your head. It helps you to put those thoughts down. It helps you also in writing out your vision and your goals and being able to hold to those things. There is something about writing them out that really substantiates the fact that they are important to you and they're things that you want to get accomplished. And the beauty in some of this is, like I said, being able to go back a year from now and look at something that you wrote last year or even a couple of years ago and marvel at how far you have come in that period of time. Or even remind yourself, this is something I've been working on for a little while now. I really need to focus on getting that done. So there are just so many benefits to journaling. So, like I said, it's not always the easiest thing to write. We frequently have a tendency to leave it until the very last thing we do before we go to bed and we fall asleep, or it gets caught up in those last minute tasks that you need to do before you turn in. Any number of things can prevent you from actually doing that journaling. First thing in the morning, you may get up and you get totally preoccupied with all the other things that you have to do for the day. So guess what? Journaling takes a back seat. So what are some tips? What are some strategies that you can use? And what I'll do when I finish here over on LinkedIn, and I'll also include it on Instagram and on Facebook. I'm going to jot these strategies down because I want you to grab a hold of them so that you can start writing down those important things, those things that have meaning for you, those things that you want to accomplish, those things that you want to remember, so that you can start either writing them down, or I'll also talk to you about an actual visual journal. For those who just really can't stand the writing, the whole visual piece will accomplish the exact same thing. But right now, let's just talk about strategies for getting it down. So choose how you're going to do it. Are you going to write it down? Is it going to be a book? Are you going to type in something? Are you going to do the visual journal? Select the method that you're going to use. First of all, that's your first step in writing down that important information. Put it in a notebook. There's such beautiful things now that you can use. I know that one thing that I recommend that Oprah just came out with, which is her journal, which is a wonderful platform. I highly recommend it. I also want to talk to you in a few minutes about a way that you can create a visual journal and something I've discovered for that as well. So also choose a time in the day that you're going to do it and stick with that time. I already talked about how it gets lost in the evenings and you get lost in the morning too. The end of the day may be a good time. Perhaps as soon as you walk through the door and start putting down your things, dedicate that time to sit and journal. Perhaps when you take a break for lunch or over your breakfast, try to tie it to something so that you will actually get it done and not put off writing or creating that picture that you want to create. Avoid missing more than one day. That's so important. That's incredibly important for somebody like me who gets gaps of up to a week or better, a month, a year. It is so important to remember that you need to continue to journal. And if you fall off the wagon and you skip things for a little while, that's okay too. Hop back on and still get it done. Don't fall into condemnation because you've stopped. The important thing is to get back in the saddle, right? That's right. Don't quit. Also, keeping your entries short will encourage you to write. You don't have to write a whole book. You can just write the bullet points. Perhaps go back another day and elaborate if you really want to. Record those important events. Important events. Record important concepts and important things that you want to do. Write your vision. Write that in your journal. Write your goals and your objectives. You know, the events that you really give some importance to, and then you're going to want to track those things, track your progress, and then analyze your challenges also in your journal. Where are you kind of having a hard time doing things? Write that in there as well. Keep your journal private and secure. It's something that is between you and your thoughts and your desires and your visions and your dreams. And it depends on the type of journal. It's a prayer journal. That's something between you and God. This is something that you want to hold dear. And if it gets out into the public, it may not be as valuable to you. And there may be some things that you just don't want to share. This should be a spot where you can get as intimate as you want to be. Be as intimate as you want because this is your journal. This is your information. And this is something that you want to hold near and dear to you. We already talked about some of the benefits, of doing a journal. A journal serves as so many things for you. Serves as a record of your life. You write down things that have occurred, things that you want to occur. They're in that journal. Something that is private to you right now that you may not mind having someone else look at or keep things separate. You may want a journal that you actually pass down that doesn't have that private information. Then record that in a different way. Journaling can be cathartic. It is so cathartic if you just sit down and you write down just any wealth of knowledge, wealth of information that you just want to put down. It releases tension. It helps you to improve your memory. I already talked about that. When you get in your prime, you may not remember things quite as well as you did in your 20s. You're not saying that we have major memory issues, but it can be a challenge at times. Write it down. I write down everything. I'm known as the sticky queen also. For things I need to do during the day, it's on a sticky. That's okay. As long as you have something to prompt your memory, you're in good shape. You'll learn about yourself. Oh my goodness. Think about something that you put in your journal and you look back and you notice a pattern over a couple of months, couple of years. You're like, I've always been able to do this, but I've always struggled with that. Yeah, you find out information about yourself in your journal. You'll be in good company. You know how many people there are out there that keep a journal? Just as encouragement, some of your well-known people keep journals, and this is the way that they start their books. This is the way that they start their companies. This is the way that they start different processes that they've been able to help their families advance with. So know that you're in good company. Writing something down has been a way to preserve memories, to leave legacies, to help you to get from one day to the next, and to help you also to push through processes that you don't necessarily always want to push through. Journaling has always been an excellent way to do that. And your memory will improve. Why? You are stimulating your brain so that you are making it work in order to preserve it, so to speak. Think about it. It's just like a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it gets. So the memory, the reasons for journaling are plentiful. So, okay, we've given you some things that you can do to make sure you get the journal done. We've told you how to write it. We've told you the benefits of it. And if you're just like me and you just don't like writing, well, guess what? You can also create something that is known as a visual journal. Think about when you were a child. You know, you drew pictures of how you felt. How frequently did you draw pictures of that? You know, the picture of what you felt dad looked like during Christmas and giving gifts and, probably stick pictures. We've done that kind of thing forever, right? What mom cooked on Thanksgiving, how the kitchen looked, how the dog waited by your feet to grab scraps. Yeah, all those things. Real visual. Can you tell us something I like? I've always been a visual person. There's so many benefits to that as well. Think about how now people are creating coloring books and books that you can actually color in because it releases tension. It creates and stimulates creativity. There's so many reasons for actually making that journal visual instead of written. That gives you an out. That gives you a way for my creatives to actually get some journaling done, get some preservation done, get your legacies preserved, write down your goals and objectives, but not write them, draw them out, or do something else in a creative way. It helps you to manage stress. I already talked about how there are frequently now coloring books, adult coloring books, even that you can draw in, that is so cathartic and helps you to release that stress, produce those endorphins, and helps you to just calm down and kind of pull out of a world that is so distracted and so elsewise focused when you just really need some time to decompress. That's an awesome way. Stimulate your creativity, of course, if you're journaling something in pictures. You can do this how? By marking up a book, perhaps assembling a collage. Think about the vision board. Same thing as journaling, isn't it? You're creating what you want to see for the year. However, you're making it visual instead of written. Imagine doing something like that, but doing it as a journal. All right. You can record your feelings in there. It's the same way that you did as a kid. You can draw, or you can put together even pieces out of a magazine that demonstrates something that you are trying to get over, or demonstrates something that you visualize in your life. You can put that in your journal as well. Cut and paste it in there. Think about this. Think about when you've had a dream in the middle of the night. Now, what I have started to do is I frequently wake up and I'll jot down some things about that dream, because I know without a shadow of a doubt there is a 95% chance that when I wake up, I am not going to remember the dream. So you can do the same thing with drawing. Draw that out. Quickly get up and sketch what it was that you saw in your dream. Another way to visually put something in your journal. Later on that day, get up and add some text to it, because you're going to be prompted by what you actually drew. Browse online for some ideas. There are many websites out there that are forums that are devoted to visual journaling and art therapy, and the importance of that. Look at the samples on Pinterest. Pinterest is another awesome place to go to look for ideas for journaling, to look for ideas just around a whole bunch of things. Pinterest is a huge idea board for just about any and everything that you could possibly imagine. There are examples and samples out there of things that you can do. Something else, even for those who are doing therapy of any kind. Did you know that your visual journal could actually be used by your therapist for them to understand some of the things that may be bothering you, some of the deeper work that they may be need to do with you, which is depicted in the visual journal that you're keeping? So that's it. We've talked about the importance of journaling. It is incredibly important and a wonderful tool to use to record your feelings, to record the things that you desire to do, to record your dreams and your aspirations, and to maintain a legacy. I started scrapbooking as a way of visually journaling for my family. Some years later, to this day, my children, my family thoroughly enjoy being able to go back and look at that book and being able to see how it ties into our legacy, to be able to see the dreams and the aspirations we had as they were younger and the things that we tried to build for them. They were also able to look in there and see some of the more troubling times that we had, some of the times when we lost loved ones. All of these are things that are preserving our legacy and passing down that information to someone. And it's also helping us in the process. I think of, I told this story probably, I don't know, maybe in a blog earlier this week, but I talked about how for my grandmother's 80th birthday, I created a book for her. She had 7 children, and I had all 7 children to give me pictures of their families. So it was their children and their children's children and their dog. And we wrote what their children were doing. And my grandmother would religiously look at that book probably for easily every morning of the next 5 to 10 years of her life. She lived to be 93. That helped to stimulate her memory. That brought back tradition. She frequently would look and give us even another piece of history that we didn't even think about until she looked at that book and it jarred her memory. So, journal. Create the thing that is going to leave a legacy. Journal. It gives you the opportunity to write those things that you dream of, to write those things that you want to work on, to document those things that you want to bring into your life. Dreams, legacy, therapy, journaling all the way around is a wonderful tool, and it is one of the best ones to take into 2023. I'm also going to leave you some information on one of the very best visual journaling books that I know of, as well as a person who enjoys journaling via scrapbook. So I'll leave you some information on that as well. All right. So in 2023, journal, no matter how, write, pictures, whichever method you choose to use. All right. So I hadn't been here in a few weeks and I ran a little late, but I think the information is incredibly important. And I hope that you find it as valuable as I do. And I really, really want to encourage you to do more and more of it. Thank you so much. Let me know your thoughts. Tell me some of the creative ways in which you found to write things that you want to share from your heart. What are some of the ways that you record information? How do you maintain and record your legacy? What are some of the things that you do? I want to hear about them. All right. That's it. You guys have a wonderful Thursday. That's the thought for Thursday. Make sure that you know the benefits of journaling, and not only know them, but take action. All right. You guys go out. Have a great Thursday. Have a great week. Remember, you are incredibly important. The imprint that you have, go out, live boldly, audaciously, and confidently as you do, because guess what? That imprint is needed in the world, and won't anybody be able to do it like you can do it. All right? That's it. Y'all have a good one. Bye.
The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. The Vera Thomas Show. Let's talk about it. 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 On the Vera.
Hello, hello, hello. I am so excited today. I have a guest. We have been friends for several years. Hi, Ted. How are you doing?
Doing great. Doing great. How you doing, Vera?
I'm doing good. I'm so glad that you're here today. And what I'm going to do is share with our listening audience a little bit about you. And then we're going to just talk about all the things that you're doing. So, Ted Jordan, and he's with Jordan Team Learning LLC. After completing his degree at UC Berkeley, where he learned Unix programming, Mr. Ted Jordan, MS, CISSP, LPI, CEH, and we're going to talk about all those letters, started his career at General Motors, developing virtual reality driving simulation scenarios and systems administration. Mr. Jordan also set up and maintained authentication systems for high security projects. His career later took him to Silicon Graphics Incorporated, FakeSpace, and Sun Microsystems, where he architect secure virtual reality and engineering environments, defined security and background check policies, and crafted change management strategies. Mr. Jordan works as an ethical hacker and corporate cybersecurity trainer for manufacturers and the military. He is one of the few instructors that brings his own small audio system to assure that everyone engages with the class. Mr. Jordan contributes to the open source community, including LibreOffice, OpenOffice, Free Software Foundation, Wikipedia, and others. Mr. Jordan also partners with communities to mentor young STEM students. Mr. Jordan is the co-author of the CompTIA Linux Plus Certification Exam Guide, published by McGraw-Hill, the author of the study guide for LPIC-1 Exam 101 and Exam 102, published by O'Reilly. And he is a technical editor for CompTIA Linux, LPIC -1 certification guide. Mr. Jordan enjoys tennis, golf, and singing karaoke. Maybe you'll sing for us today in his spare time.
Satisfaction.
I hear
Chain the
you.
chain reaction.
Mr. Jordan delivers training for the CISSP, CSSLP, CCSP, CEH Security Plus, Network Plus Linux Plus, RHC SUSE Certified Engineer, A plus, C plus plus, C number Java, Python, Oracle Solaris, and OpenGL. Students say that they like that he explains the why and how behind concepts, not only not yes, okay, behind the concepts. We'll leave it at that. Okay, so I am so glad you're here. And all those letters, I don't know anything about anything that you do. So you're going to be educating all of us.
Sounds
So
good.
first, so first of all, I'm going to give you the floor and just have you share with our audience
how you came to where you are right now in your journey, and just share a little bit about your background and your journey. So I'm going to give
Sure,
you the
sure.
floor.
Yeah, I started my career at General Motors and was designed heat shields for engines, the Series 60 truck engine. I don't know how many of you heard of that one. It's been around for several years. And I loved engineering. I love what I did there, but I got so excited about computers. I went and did my graduate work in robotics, and I really like what they're doing in the field of robotics. So I went to California, Berkeley to do my graduate work. I got my undergraduate degree in Flint, Michigan, school there called Kettering University. Was called General Motors Institute at the time. And I as I was working on my master's degree, they're doing all my work was computer work. And I did a lot of programming to get the robots working. We did simulated robots, and it was really a lot of fun. I enjoyed what I did there. Ended up going back to General Motors to develop their simulator on Unix and Linux systems. And I got to the point where, I always wanted to have my own company, and I got a chance to start that back in right around the 21st century. Started a computer training company for kids, teaching kids how to code. Did that for about 10 years, and always wanted to bring up a company and sell it. And I brought it up, got to where it's going, sold it to a group here in Milwaukee where I live now. And now I do ethical hacking. I help people with their issues on the computer side. I work often with private detectives to maybe help runaway children, uh, divorce cases, and I'm that computer side that helps, and I do it legally. So I've been doing that now for about 20 years. Wrote and writing books now. So wrote the Linux Plus certification, and then the book for the CISSP certification. And we'll talk more about that.
Yes. Well, I know we met several years ago. As a matter of fact, we did one of your technical camps at the organization that I was the executive director for, and the kids loved it. I mean,
Oh,
they
it's
were
awesome.
it was awesome, creating robots, and oh, that was so exciting. And I'm sorry to hear that you no longer do that with children. They loved you.
I enjoyed the work. I really enjoyed what I did then. And I just aged out of it. I just got to the point where I couldn't run like I used to. So
I can relate.
it's time to sell.
Well, and I want you to explain to our audience all those letters behind your name and what that
Sure.
means.
Yeah, yeah. And when you're teaching like I'm doing now, they require you to get these additional certifications. When I left with my master's degree, after I finished my master's, I said, thank goodness I'll never have to take another test for the rest of my life. And quite the opposite has happened. Um, for those that are looking to go into college, we're like doctors, we're like lawyers, we're always learning. And yeah, we still have to take tests. We've got to get certain certifications. We got to keep them updated. So in order to teach the topics that I teach, I've got to be certified in them as well. The MS is my master's in science. I got from California, Berkeley, and finished that in the 80s. And then I got next my Linux Plus certification. I finished this certification back around 2000, and this proved that I could work in a Linux environment, could boot the machine, load the hardware, run applications. Before that, I got another certification in Solaris, and these certifications mainly involve definitely weeks and weeks of study, and then sitting for the exam, usually 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours, and you have to go to a test center. The exams have a fee. The fee for this exam, for example, is $400. The fee for this exam is $950. Now, if you fail the exam, what do you think happens? So I'm going to ask you, Vera, do you get that money back if you fail the exam?
No, I don't think you get the money back. And if you take the test again, you got to pay it again. Is that true?
Pay it again. And so the part of the reason why I wrote these books is because people have taken exams 4 times, 5
Oh my
times.
God.
So that's a huge investment, $5,000, $6,000 in exams, not passing. So I really want to find a way to help them be successful. Oftentimes in my classes, when I teach these subjects, the students will come up to me and say, I got to pass this exam so I can get a promotion. I got to pass this exam so I can get privileges to use the computer. And then the ones that hurt me a little bit the most, I got to pass this exam to keep my job. If I fail the exam, I lose my job. So I have to, I feel really responsible for all of them, but mostly for that last group. I really want to do the best I can to help show them the important topics to look at, learn, discuss, and so that they're ready for that exam and can pass it.
So what type of person and personality type would best fit this type of work?
Now, the students I get a lot from the military because they work in security operations centers. And so you'll see Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, and no one from from space area or the new one that's out there, but definitely from companies like AT&T, Kodak, Microsoft have taken my classes, and they're people either in their careers or starting their careers, and they need to get this certification to move up the corporate ladder. And of course, they're as surprised as I am. I didn't know I was going to have to take exams again. So yeah, they need to take an exam, pass it, and some of these students have to take an exam every year, and I teach those. Yep.
Wow. Well, you're either green and growing or ripe and rotten. So
That's it.
you wouldn't be able to do what you do
Thank you.
if you weren't a continual life learner. So for young people that might be interested in doing this kind of work, what would you tell them are the most important qualities that they need to have when considering being involved in cybersecurity? And we need to talk about cybersecurity a little more because right now that's a critical thing. And I know you mentioned working with finding children and detectives and all those kinds of things. And a lot of people may not realize how exciting. I'm hearing this background noise. What is that? Okay.
That's my dog shaking himself.
Tell him to go in another room.
I didn't realize these headphones were that good.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it was profound. So anyway, so a young person that might be interested in what it is that you do, what type of qualities should they have, and what type of personality what type of personality in a young person would be most adaptable to this type of work?
Yeah. When I was a kid, I was always questioning everything. And I remember watching on the news that they said we're going to get an inch of rain. And I was like, I always wondered how they knew that. And so one day I went outside, it was starting to rain, and I took a cup and I put outside, and it rained all day. And I saw how much rain I got. I was actually really surprised as to how little rain. I had like an inch of rain in there. And on the news, they said, we've had an inch of rain today. And I was like, he's right. I was always curious about a lot of things. I was taking things apart, putting them back together. And my favorite gifts that I had when I was a kid were chemistry sets, electronic kits, and a chance to put these items together and learn about how they work. Back then there was a company called Radio Shack, and they had one of
I
the best
remember Radio
electronic kits.
Shack.
You remember them?
Yes,
Oh man,
yes.
they had the 101 kit with over 100 projects in it. I did every one of them. So that aptitude, someone that's interested in science, technology, loves math. That was my favorite subject. When I went to high school, they jumped me up a grade in math. I was in algebra, and most other people were taking pre-algebra.
Wow.
So that really made the difference for me. And then if you can get into computers early, the earlier you can get your hands on a computer, the better. And my dad had some computers that he introduced me to when I was younger. But even now today, I'm hearing about kids that just want to learn it so badly, they'll just get some parts and try to build their own. And if you have that kind of attitude, and you're just like, hey, somebody get me bored. I found this in the trash. Let me and get it working. That's this is what you're looking for. This is a career for you.
That's awesome. And anymore, toddlers are learning computers.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean, it's amazing. I have grandchildren, and at 2,
Yep.
3, 4 years old, they're on the computer, or they're on
Yep.
on their pads, going directly to games and this kind of stuff. And so, how old were you when you first recognized? And in so doing, it sounds like your parents were also very in tune with
Oh yeah.
with these skills that you had, and they helped propel you into this kind of work.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes people can see before you can see what you're good at. That's what my dad did. He saw that I was really good at technology, and to me it came easy. So I thought everybody did this. I really did. I thought everybody does this. It's like, this is easy. And
No.
and what was hard for me, for someone else, maybe if you're good in history or in talking to people and psychology and like having fun with people, that's hard for me. I'm not the social butterfly. I'm not out hanging with folks all the time. So so you find your strength. One item that helped me, that I read a book, What Color Is Your Parachute? And they said, when you go to the library, what kind of books are you getting? What kind of books are you reading? And I have to admit, the ones I was getting and reading had to do with science, technology. And I said, hey, with my dad saying, this is what I should be doing, and this, and all that said, hey, this is probably the right thing for me. And one more point, I remember reading Malcolm X's book, and he talked about in there how he I realized it was interesting what he loved. He said he liked history and math, and I'm sorry, he liked math. He liked history and social studies because you could argue about it, and it was vague. 1 and 1 can't equal 3 in those cases. Where me, I want things to be exact, and it just goes. He could always
dog is
debate.
making too much noise.
Yeah, sorry about that, but yeah,
That's
he didn't
okay.
mind the debate and showing what's going on, and me, me, I don't like debate. I want 1 and 1 to equal 2. I want 5 and 3 to be 8, and so I like that exactness. And there's strengths and weaknesses in both. But but if you like the math, if you like the exactness, this is probably the career for you. So yeah.
So you're really walking and living in your passion as well as your purpose.
Yes, definitely.
And loving your work. And you're definitely a left-brain person.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's it. People say I say these big words, and I feel like I'm just being exact. I don't know. Once people say back to me what I said, I say, oh, okay, I didn't realize it. But because it's normal to me. In my head, I'm being precise, but I don't know it. I don't know that I'm doing this, and it's just if you find yourself, yeah, then this is probably the career for you.
Yes, that's awesome. So, if you like math and science, if you like taking things apart and putting them back together again, if you're curious
Yep.
about how things work, and parents, if you see that in your child at an early age, then you need to nurture that and encourage that and get them into games and different things that's going to lead to a career that might end up being like what Mr. Jordan is doing.
Exactly right. Exactly right. You know, because when you were my executive director, you were doing some amazing things and making, you know, pointing out to people, if your child is interested at all in technology, one step is just learning how to write a computer game. And it's amazing. One of the tools we taught use then, and you know, if we have some younger parents on there with that they're working with kids, uh, go to the website scratch.mit.edu, and it's a really fun way to learn programming. The kids don't even know they're learning.
Really?
The
And
kids
at
don't even
what
know they're
age?
learning.
What age?
Oh, that would be ages 5 and up. Five
All
and up.
right. All
Yeah.
right. And I'm
Should I
going to
type
put that.
Should I type that website in then?
Yes, 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 please do. Because
Let's
then
see.
I will put it in the comments.
Okay.
Normally, a lot of times we get people having comments and things like that. Awesome. I'm going to put this in the comment section so that parents can check it out, especially if they have a child that has an affinity for these things. You really want to give them opportunity to explore. And I mean, I think that's something I'm even going to encourage with my grandson because he's 5 years, he's 6 now.
Okay.
And I mean, he's into all these kinds of things. I can see him having some left brain tendencies.
Good, good, good. Get them started.
Yes, absolutely. Now, let me ask you, because I know that with what you do, there aren't that many African Americans in that particular field, are there?
We get about 10%. I would say it's about what you see in most fields, about 10%. And I, in my classes, I might have 30 students. I might have 3 that are African American. Um, One that's a woman. Very rare do I see women involved. Um, but uh, this is an interesting field that I think that women and African Americans would be interested in because it ties into some areas that they're natural with in dealing with security. It's like
Yeah.
you know, so a lot of us are worried about risk every day, and we have to understand which risks we can tolerate and which risks we cannot. That's what we talk about. Um, there's no such thing as no risk. I mean, even when you walk outside, anything could happen when you go outside your door. So, but there have to be risks that there are more important risks that you do want to be concerned with, and then there's some risks that you're going to accept. Just got to live with it if you want to enjoy life. So, the a lot of folks run into these kinds of decisions naturally every day, and would work well in this environment. In these classes, we talk about, let's say a person has a store, and the we have to worry about theft. Walmart, Target worry about theft. They plan for it. They expect there's going to be so much theft because it's just the nature of the business. And so, and they learn to balance that because someone else might say, well, I'm not going to open a store because somebody might steal from me. Walmart and Target say, someone's going to steal from us. But we know that what's more important is to worry about the more expensive items. So we're going to put those inside of a case. We know what's important. Maybe we're going to have some items that they can just order online, and we'll ship those. So that can really help to can help you make a good business decision, knowing what you can balance there as far when it goes to risk. Right now, most of us are using computers, and really, probably the two biggest things I teach is, number one, don't click any link inside of any email. Now, many of us have probably heard about these emails that go around, and I could show some that I get here. But I'll ask you, Vera, have you heard about this? Do you know why shouldn't we be clicking those links?
Well, links that you're not familiar with, they could be people, because I've experienced it.
Yep.
So some of those links can totally wipe out your computer.
They can totally wipe out your computer, or they can lead you to a scam that, in fact, I'll tell you about the biggest scam going on right now. It's called the refund scam. And these guys make millions of dollars a month from it. You get an email, and this one isn't even clicking a link. It's telling you to dial a phone number. You get an email that says, you've just been billed for $400 for
Yes.
Geek Squad. All right.
Yes.
All right. And you're like, I've never ordered Geek Squad. And so they have a toll-free number that you can call to get the refund. You call them up. Hi. And I can send you, there's a link, there's a video that explains all this. I can send it to you later on.
Okay. Okay.
For your guests, for your viewers.
Okay.
They say, hi, yes, we're sorry about this issue. We're going to refund you your money right now. And to help show you that we've refunded your money, we just need to look at your bank account. So
Yes.
they take a look at your bank account. All right. They trick you into looking at your bank account.
And then they take all your money.
Hey, you put in this refund, and it says you're going to put in $400. They add a couple extra zeros, so now it looks like they're refunding you $40,000. And they're saying, now what they've done is they built up this relationship with you, and they say to you, I forgot the most important part of the trick. And this is why it's so important to know coding. This is why it's so important for us to teach our kids how to code. They go into the bank website that you just looked at. They make it look like you've got $40,000 in your account more. That's the big trick. They prove it to you. They show it to you right there. Boom. He's right. I've got an extra $40,000 in my account. I got to give this money back. And they tell you, go to the bank, get $40,000, put in a book, wrap it up, mail it, and it's amazing scam. You really believe you owe it to them. And one more other big scam, I'll send you a link on that one, but one more other one is, I just got this one in my mail, but I've heard of so many other businesses being hit with this. Let's say, for example, Vera, you get an email from me that says, Vera, the title says urgent. And I just got this one, by the way. It says, urgent, Vera, I want to do a special surprise for all the people that work for me. Can you go buy some Amazon gift cards so that I can give these gifts away? And someone like you gets the email, and now you know better. You're like, I know this is fake, right? But other people haven't. I saw on Judge Mathis, the case came in, the woman was suing her boss. I got this email that said to buy $500 in gift cards. I did. I need my money back now. But she's the one that never sent that email. And in fact, the boss tried to help her get the money back to find who the crooks were, but she was not the one that sent her the email. And so just be careful,
Yes.
There's so much, I can talk more about cybersecurity, but I'm going to let you get some other questions in before I talk about two-factor authentication. All right.
Do that. Let's hear about that. I'm telling you, I have experienced. I was on my computer and I got this information regarding my computer was in jeopardy, for lack of a better way of saying it. And they said they were from Microsoft.
Right.
Yes. Oh, man.
And I tell people, look, Microsoft is not looking for trouble.
No.
They're not calling anybody.
No.
Google's not going to call you.
No, and I'm telling you, I mean, I was scammed. I'm gonna admit it. I was
You're not the
scammed.
first.
And I
You won't be the
mean,
last.
and then another thing. Now this is not where the computers are concerned, but just a couple of weeks ago, I got a package from FedEx with a check for, I can't remember how much, but it was for supposedly secret shopper.
Yeah.
And I have learned from experience. And if anybody gets one of these checks, the first thing you do is call the bank that the check is written on before you take it to your bank. That is the first thing you need to do. Call the bank. And that's what I did. I called the bank. I read them the routing number and the check number, non-existent. Non-existent. And so what would have happened or could have happened, I could have taken that money, put it in my bank account.
Right. You think you have it and you don't. And
And
you're
you
stuck
don't.
holding the bag.
And you're stuck holding the bag.
That's right.
Absolutely. This is very important stuff. Okay, let's talk about this two-factor authentication, which some people may feel is really a pain in the neck. You
It
know,
sure is. It sure is.
it is. But I mean, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about that.
And when it comes to security, what is it? It's slowing things down. It's making life more difficult for the hacker, but also for you, right? If we didn't need security, we could just walk into our homes, but we might have to get 2 or 3 locks, 2 or 3 keys to unlock and get in the house. This is it. We're building more inconveniences. So when it comes to my Facebook accounts, my Twitter accounts, and others, I have an application that I use called Google Authenticator. Let's see if I can find it here. And these authenticators come up with a bunch of 6 different 6-digit codes every time for all my accounts. And then when when I log in, I give my login, my password, and the 6-digit code. Or what you could do on your Gmail, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and other accounts, YouTube, have it at least send a text to your phone.
Yeah.
At least do that. If you don't get the authenticator, like I've got with which gives a new 6 digits every 30 seconds, just make sure
Every
it calls
30
your phone first.
seconds?
Every 30 seconds is a new
Oh,
6
see
digit.
that?
Yep.
Oh my
Yep.
God.
So you got to be fast. I got to put in my numbers really quickly. So it really helps to secure your accounts. I've been doing some trading in cryptocurrencies,
Okay.
and on the cryptocurrency accounts, the authentication, they want my login, my password, the 6-digit code, and they call my phone, and they send me an email.
Oh my goodness.
So that's which would be called 5-factor authentication. So, but really, if you have at least 2-factor authentication, that's going to solve a multitude of issues. The Colonial Pipeline was attacked. I don't know if you guys remember about a year ago,
Yes.
where gas prices almost doubled, and that was because the Colonial Pipeline that supplies fuel to half the United States was hit with what's called a ransomware attack.
Mm-hmm.
The hackers got in, garbled up all their files. Their data's still there. It's called encrypted, but it's all garbled up. And until they paid, I think it was $8 million. Until they paid $8 million, they were not going to get their data back.
Wow.
They paid $8 million, and they were able to get back to work. The Biden administration got involved, helped them get back $6 million, so they got a lot of the money back.
Oh, okay.
And I think they caught the guys. But to make the solution here was that if they had 2-factor authentication, the hackers would have never got in. They had an old account with a password that never changed. If they had 2-factor authentication, we would have been fine. So
You know, I mean, this stuff is so important. And let me also say that this particular show airs on several platforms, some of which I can't get comments from. It also not only airs on several, but it's a podcast that will be in several different countries. So a lot of people are going to see this, and I know it's going to help a lot of people. I do have a couple of commercials that I need to air, so let me do those right quick, and then we'll come back to our discussion.
We'll let you make your money.
In media service business. We help entrepreneurs and startup businesses by providing them with beneficial coaching, resources, and visibility techniques to position their businesses online from their own homes. We assist businesses with influence building, podcasting, intentional coaching, training, media, visibility, connections, and monetization online. CTR Enterprises Network has a proven track record by directly impacting over 1,000 entrepreneurs worldwide. We are here to service you, and we can help. Contact us today by going to ctrenterprisesnetwork.com.
Miss Mac, $1 million maker, Miss Mac Marketing. 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 Make your dreams become reality today with Miss Mac Marketing. 848-236-5026.
We thank our sponsors, CRT Media Network. If you're interested in creating a podcast or learning more about how to monetize your podcast, you want to check out CTR Network Marketing, Media Marketing. Okay. And all right. So, and Miss Mac Marketing, she is a publicist and can help you with visibility and getting your name out there. All right. Had to take care of those two things. Now, you mentioned before we got on about a book that you're in the process of writing, and you talked about some of the issues or concerns that you had about what it is you're trying to write.
Yeah. I'm working on a book. I'm actually updating my Linux book for the next version. Their new exam comes out in January. And what I noticed a lot of authors did in their books is they've got quotes from different people. Einstein, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and so on. And talking about technology. And one of the items I said, you know what, that's a good idea. I want to go ahead and put in some quotes at the beginning of each chapter related to my chapter. And I want folks I'm going to look for some African-American scientists and engineers that I can get good quotes from. Talking about technology, I was thinking about
You had mentioned George Washington Carver.
George Washington Carver, the guy that made the street light out of Ohio, the traffic light, Morgan is his name, and several others. And I'm looking for these quotes on technology. I can find Black engineers, I can find scientists. Unfortunately, all they ever talked to them about in their interviews was about race.
Oh my goodness.
and race in their careers. Nothing about I'm having the hardest time finding them making comments on technology. And I'm like, come on, these guys studied for years on this. they know these topics forwards and backwards. I know they have some comment on how to raise grains, how electronics work, and I can't find it. It's just how they dealt with their careers race-wise, and what they had to do to protect their homes and from racist, which I think we need to know about. I don't mind that, but I do feel like the world has made African Americans a little bit too one-dimensional. We're more than just our race. And to my audience, if you can help me find those quotes on technology, I would appreciate it. It can take me 2 hours to find a quote for someone where that's African American talking about technology. And whereas if they're Anglo-Saxon, I can find those in 5 minutes. So help.
Help him.
I've been able to
help
find a
him.
few. When my book comes out, I've been able to find a few, and the ones that I have found have been really good. We've got African Americans that were involved. I learned so much in this little quest of mine, though. I've learned how we helped HP become a multi-million-dollar business. People that were vice president, African Americans that were vice president of the computing department at HP, vice presidents of IBM, vice presidents of or top researchers at universities, and so I have to say it's been an education for me just finding these folks and what they've done and the difference they've made, and how one guy got to be so good he became I think it was the mayor, became high on the board in San Jose, ran the golf club out there. I wish I remembered his name right now, but we've done, African Americans have done a lot, just not, we're not just this race. So it kind of, some of these things kind of bother me a little bit, that when I see when African American football player or basketball player, they get all this money together to start a school, I'm like, Anglos do this too, but Americans are focused on Blacks giving back, which is important, but we really need to be starting businesses. We a lot of times we're giving when we can't afford to give, right? We have to learn to put our mask on first before assisting others, and a lot of us are assisting others, and we're killing ourselves. So we have to really get successful in our careers, and then start to give back. And how we were successful in our careers needs to also be promoted, not just, hey, no gun day like we did in Detroit. Isaiah Thomas did that years ago, which is important, but there's just a lot more. We're more dimensional than that.
Absolutely. And one thing that I found out, the Hummer, that was invented by a Black man. Did you know that?
Did not.
Yeah.
I got to look that up for one of those quotes, and hopefully we can learn about the technology of tires and the engine and something,
Well, there is a museum here called Sights and Sounds. I'm going to connect you with that guy, and he may be able to help you tremendously, because his whole museum is nothing but Black inventions.
Awesome.
I mean, it's awesome. So I will get that information for you and get that to you. And one of the other questions, I know we don't really want to talk a lot about racism, and you being in the field that you are in, being a Black man, what kinds of experiences, and I know we're getting off.
Yeah.
What type of...
when I was General Motors, after I got my master's degree, I was the only African American employee in this building of 100 researchers.
Wow.
And 25 years old, 26 years old, young guy, and trying to find my way. You've got, and then being African American, you're a lot more visible. So every move you make good or bad, but mostly bad, gets broadcast to other folks. It was a tough spot. I got to admit that that was one part of the reason for me going into the computer industry, because what I'd seen was there were more African Americans getting involved there, and it was really true. I was seeing African American engineers. One of the founders of Silicon Graphics, the company I ended up going to after General Motors, was African American. He got his PhD from I think it's Stanford or Berkeley. So seeing more and more of that happen in this industry, and it still happens today. My cousin runs the company that helps people put stuff together when they buy. I can't remember anything. When they buy their furniture from the store, we got to put
IKEA.
Yeah, when they buy the furniture from IKEA, they call this other company to put it together. What they called? Help.
I
Anyway,
don't know.
Okay, I'll look it up. But she runs that company, and a very well-known nationwide company. Since I do all my work myself, I've never had to use their services. But just make sure you glue those nails. That's all I say. Glue the nails. Almost had it. So we're seeing that in certain industries, especially in this computer space, cybersecurity space, African Americans, it's so, when I was doing my research with these, for the quotes, one of the guys that started Atari was African American. He made one of the very first video games. And he talked a lot about it. It wasn't all about race. So I was able to use some of his quotes that worked out really good.
Wow.
So that was part of my reason for making that move. And then when I moved to the computer space, I was one of, in a building of 20 people, I was one of 3 African American employees. So, and I've just seen, and now with cybersecurity, I see that also it's another area that we can do well at. Now, I still ran into issues. I still probably, we've been taught as younger that we've got to work twice as hard than everyone else, and that's true. We have to almost be perfect, but we really have to be perfect, really, frankly. But one lesson I think I've learned in my career that I think would have helped me, I call that an offensive tactic, but I think we also need some defensive tactics. The defensive tactic would be, really making friends, find that one thing you're really good at that no one else can do. If you can do, but I think that making friends is really helpful, because the issue I see happening with most African Americans is that gossip chain in that white community. You're an easy target. They're going to be talking about you behind your back, and no matter how good you are, and they're going to gang up on you. That's just what happens. So you need to make. I accidentally made a friend with a guy at Silicon Graphics. I didn't realize it. I had a really slow day, and I went to one of the guys there, and I won't name him because I'm not sure if he wants to be out like that. But I said, "Hey, do you need any help with something? My day's slow." And he gave me, I didn't know this at the time, but he gave me his worst case. And he was working with a client that had him there every day, changing parts. And he's trying to explain to the client that the issue is not a hardware problem, because when you're dealing with computers, it could be so many things. It could be hardware, but really it boils down to 2, hardware or software. He's trying to explain to the customer it's a software problem. And she was saying, no, it's a hardware problem. And he kept changing hardware and saying that we're getting the same result. You learn quickly in troubleshooting, if you keep getting the same result, that's not the problem. We also say that's insanity. You may have heard that as well.
Right.
So, right. So I took the job. I took it, and I couldn't, he'd been in that company for 10 years longer than I had. I couldn't figure it out either. And finally, the when it all ended, I said, okay, I guess I'm going to close this case out. He says, I better take it back. I know they're beating up on you, so I'm gonna. I know this lady's gonna give us a 1 out of 5. So she's gonna give us a 0 if she can. So I'll take the hit. I can afford it. So, but after that, in meetings, he'd say nice things about me and other different sections, lunch, he was saying nice things about me. So, somehow finding that defensive move can also help. I've gone to the homes of some of the my coworkers. I've had them at my home. That can make a big difference. Which I know is a little bit, you got to be vulnerable, but I found it can really help open up conversation. So I guess that'd be my addition to the conversation of the, yes, working hard, doing your work. I guess my last lesson is one item that I was bad at that I think if I did do it all over again today, if I was able to go back 50 years in my career when it started, 40 years, I would study more at home and realize that this is a profession much like I said earlier, like a doctor or a lawyer. So yes, I got the job. I know I got my master's from Berkeley. I was like, I've done it all. I've already worked. Yes, I've done my all-nighters. I've worked Saturdays and Sundays. I got it. I'll have to do any more. Wrong attitude. Take a month break, and then when you get that job, I needed to learn more, study, stay like a doctor does, like a lawyer does. You have to still stay current. You still have to read. I joined a group. There's some good things I did do. I did join IEEE, which is IEEE it's an electrical engineering organization. I joined Society of Automotive Engineers, SAE. I joined the Engineering Society of Detroit, and that did help me learn about opportunities. So so get active in those kinds of organizations. I also I did join some African American organizations. I joined the Black Data Processors Association, and I was very active with them to the point where they even helped me start my business, Funutation. They got me a loaner of computers to help me run my pilot programs. The pilot programs were successful. I gave them back the computers and have been giving them donations ever since. So
wow, that's awesome.
That was really the Black Data Processors Association has really been that's an organization you really want to look at. It's not as technical as the IEEE and some of the other engineering organizations because their mission, but they have a good, strong technical arm. They have a program for kids they have an annual coding competition where kids have to write video games. Black Data Processors Association, BDPA. And I think their website is bdpa.org. BDPA. I think that's your website.
Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
oh, that's okay.
Good information to share with people.
Yeah, annual. The kids from the Chicago chapters, Detroit chapters, Cleveland chapters, Milwaukee chapters. They have chapters nationwide. Every year they go. I think it's to Atlanta or maybe it's DC for the competition. And the kids compete against each other in writing phone apps, computer games, hacking competitions, and the kids get scholarships to colleges every year. Every year, kids get scholarships, and they get support from BDPA. Gets support from General Motors, 3M. I know I'm going to miss some companies, but check their website. They get national support from top work Microsoft, IBM, support them heavily and allow this to happen.
That is phenomenal. And this has been such an insightful program. I'm going to have you come back because another thing I want you to talk about is cryptocurrency. I want you to talk about that. So I'm going to have you come back.
Sure, I'd love to.
Can further this conversation.
Definitely.
Because you've given some valuable information. I've put a lot of stuff in the comment section for people to look at in the later on. And I just appreciate you being here. I really, really do. Now I must say, I've got another show that's starting in like 5 minutes because we're going to be looking at the election and the importance of people voting. That is so critical. And so with that, I want us to close out, but I want you to come back because we got a lot more to talk about.
Love to.
Okay,
anytime.
Fantastic. So I just want to thank you, and we're going to schedule you. I've got stuff starting at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
I want you to go back in and schedule yourself so that you can come back pretty quickly here.
Sure.
So that we can continue this conversation.
Good. And I'll schedule the link. I want to say thank you so much for having me and get a chance to meet your audience. I hope I made a difference in someone's life.
Yes.
And hey, if you guys know about those quotes for African Americans, technology, science, send them. All right. You got my Twitter below. You got my Twitter handle. Direct message, DM me. All right.
Yes. Thank you, Ted, so much. It's just been a pleasure. It has been.
You're awesome.
Take you. Care. All right. You too. Bye-bye. And listening audience, we'll see you in a minute.
The Vera Tommy Show. The Vera Tommy Show. The Vera Tommy Show. The Vera Tommy Show. Let's talk about it. 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 On the field.
Homeschooling Magazine, a magazine that embraces and celebrates the entire homeschooling experience. Our magazine is different from all the rest because we provide beneficial information and assistance in homeschooling, business, wellness, mental health, resources, and life. We encourage you to pick up a copy of our magazine today by going to issues.com for digital and printed form on amazon.com. The Homeschooling Magazine is all about impacting the world through home-based learning, helping to de-stress the homeschooling experience. Get your copy today.
You people know your mathematic equations and algebra terms. A positive number times a positive number is a positive number, whereas a negative number times a positive number is a negative number. And of course, a negative number times a negative number is a positive number. Yep. You know, people who seem to have their lives together is someone always treated the worst. That's because most people, they try to bond together like this crazy glue or something, right? They try to make it unbreakable. I mean, think about it. You're the type of person that has it all together. You're going to go for that success bracket or trying to be the best. So you have things going for yourself. So people assume that you don't go through anything. And especially if you're that type of person that doesn't really express things that you're going through. Instead, you deal them in your own way. However, you're the type of friend that looks out for the people. Whenever you need anything, I'll be there for you. You have that type of attitude, right? But it seems like other people are never there for you because they're for other people who are never there for them. And that's because they're more open about their trauma, dilemma, situations, anything like a bond of a glue, using their trauma as a source of this, I don't know, relationship. So they both are struggling. So they bond together using their struggles. So since they don't know what they're going through and they don't know what you're going through, and because you're not verbal about what you're going through, which much as anything, they can't relate to you. Yeah, they're going to come to you when they need something. That's obvious. But they still can't relate or even connect to you whatsoever, people. Even at your time of needing their assistance, where they at? The last time I checked, it rains everywhere in this world. And everybody is effective of how pure the rain feels. But then again, you pray for the rain. You got to deal with the mud too. Facts.
You need to invest in the TSA. I got through boarding, well, not boarding, but I got through check-in like in 5 minutes. So dope. Get your TSA. Yes.
Lieutenants, please prepare for takeoff.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Joy from Be the Difference Clothing. It's me, Angie Pooh. And you know,
Gigi's Gluten
hey, cook with me.
Where we at?
Gluten free.
Hey.
We at the
new Black Wall Street, baby.
Hey.
This place is beautiful.
It's big.
This is beautiful. Our people.
And it's closed.
Yes, we doing
Came on the wrong day.
We doing a drive-by.
But look, we're all business women, so we might try to rent a booth. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's what I'm saying. So we're going to go and find out how much it is and what the information is. So we'll be right there.
Wait, hold on. It ain't only right.
Hey, sociable. Nail salon. Hey, coming soon.
Coming soon.
The
Pedicure
nails.
Loft,
We got the nails.
ATL.
Yes. So, guys, we got the private tour to Black Wall Street Mall because it's closed, but we got a chance to tour it out anyway. So, even though it's closed, at least you can see what's going on. We got the VIP, okay?
Okay.
All right. They doing a photo shoot. Okay. Okay, they doing a photo shoot for this business, y'all. Hello.
Oh, that is
Yes.
too cute.
Looking GQ.
Talk about the dressing room, portable dressing room.
Wow.
I wonder how portable.
Look at this spot.
Look tiny.
Oh, and then this is the open section. Yeah, y'all could go ahead and do like concerts in here too, look like. That's so cool. Event space. This is cool. There's so much to do at the Black Wall Street Mall, the new Black Wall Street Mall. Yes.
So here's the flagship store for the new Black Wall Street Mall. I know you see it. It's very nice. Can't wait.
Hey guys, so we gave you guys a nice little tour. You got to check out Gigi's Gluten Free Labs channel and definitely her TikTok to find out more of what we saw of her look.
The new Black Wall Street Mall located in Stonecrest, Georgia.
Hey. Y'all, this is the pre-check TSA line, okay? This is the pre-check TSA. Y'all better go ahead and get your TSA, okay? That's what I'm talking about.
Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Tina J. Ramsey, and I want to share with you about CTR Media Network. Have you heard? CTR Media Network is a new standard of podcasting with over 30 plus podcasters. We reach 350 million global listeners worldwide in over 50 plus countries across all major podcasting and social media platforms. We have featured over 1,000 guests. What we specialize in is helping business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, and fellow podcasters expand their visibility on our platform. We're all about positioning with visibility, connections, and teaching you how to monetize what you do. Let me tell you something. If you're a business owner, we have sponsorships opportunities. We have commercial slots. We also have opportunities for you to be a featured guest on any of our shows. So what are you waiting for? CTR Media Network is who we are, and this is where you need to be. So go to ctrmedianetwork.com and click our store feature so that you can see which opportunity fits your life and your budget so that we can get started working with you today.